Yeah, Chris, just wanted to pick your brain on Real ID. Obviously here in Ohio, we're kind of going full steam ahead, whereas other states, maybe a half dozen, or actually more than that, almost 24 states have either outright rejected it or have refused to take action on it. Just kind of thinking moving forward here in Ohio.
Sure. Well, as you correctly identified, there's about, I want to say it's about 15 states that have actually passed laws saying that they won't comply with Real ID. It's literally a statutory mandate. You shall not comply with Real ID. So, as a result, DHS has never been able to do some of the overarching things that they would love to do or were initially required under Real ID, which, for example, create a nationwide database of everyone's driver's license information. You know, that's which we think would be a privacy disaster, but obviously you can't do if a whole bunch of states don't want to do it. And then similarly, we really worried that that Real ID would turn into a national ID, for example, that you would need this identification card to get on a plane to enter a federal facility, and then it would have I'm losing the word, but you would basically have the same tracking technology on each chip, so that you could, you could sort of standardize it, and then you'd have the same chip on every driver's license, and you could use that to collect lots more information. So we haven't seen a lot of those negative consequences because states haven't adopted it. What we have seen is some states, like Ohio, I guess, going forward with some provisions of Real ID, and generally that has been not allowing undocumented immigrants to get licenses. That's one that kind of swept the nation probably 8 or 9 years ago now, as soon as Real ID was passed. And then some of the smaller provisions around Real ID, standardizing the licenses, some of the security practices. So I guess the short answer to, or my shortened version of my long answer is, there's been uneven implementation. Some of the security provisions have been implemented, and I think DHS is never going to get anywhere near nationwide implementation, but they're just going to kind of keep poking away at these states.
We're coming up against another one of those deadlines.
Right.
You're saying. Okay.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. They keep kicking the deadlines down the road, and every time they do, they get a few more states to do a few pieces of this, except for states like Montana, where they keep saying things like, "We'll never do this. We don't care what you say," and go Montana.
Yeah.
But I think that's the national state of play.